Hi, I'm Emmy, I'm 14 and I volunteer every week at Emmies Kitchen, which is a charity that I helped set up after my diagnosis of leukemia in 2017. I deliver meals to help families and make an impact on their lives while living in the hospital, because it's hard to still survive and just keep going while you're in that very cramped environment. With your child who's sick by your bed, and you have to watch them go through all the treatment they're going through, and so as a child who's been in that situation, to watch my mum be a parent who's struggling, to see me like that, I just wanted to help impact people like my mum to maybe be a little bit more energetic because they've got more food in their system, or they've got a little bit more they can look after themselves. So if they look after themselves, then they can look after me and their child.
Emmy was diagnosed with leukemia in September 2017. We spent probably about 8 or 9 months pretty much in Royal Manchester Children's Hospital, day in, day out. It was really, really hard. It was part of intense treatment in terms of things that were going on for Emmy, but actually we were really lucky in that period, and I think that's what shone to me. We lived in Manchester, we lived 10 minutes from the hospital. We had people coming in, dropping food off, and as we were there longer, it became really apparent that other people didn't have that same level of support around them. People who lived in Carlisle, or people who lived in Stoke or the Lake District, or they came from all over, they did not know where they were in terms of accessing food or just going out to buy a book. Or it was like they were, not only had they probably been dealt a real kind of life-threatening diagnosis of their child, but they also were in somewhere that they just didn't know where they were. They couldn't almost see in relation to the city centre, or in relation to kind of just where they were in the city. So I think from that, Emmy's Kitchen grew in terms of my mum and Emmy sat down, were saying we need to help people because actually this doesn't feel okay, and parents are really struggling to look after themselves, and if they can't look after themselves, how do they then look after their child? And it became this kind of that my mum started to bring food onto the ward, and Emmy was like, we need to do something else. And to be fair, it was my mum and Emmy kind of came up with this, we're going to start something, and we actually need to really support parents through their time in hospital.
So Emmies Kitchen started in 2018, so it was after Emmy had been diagnosed. When I think back, I'm thinking, how did we do that in that time? Because she was still in treatment in 2018. So when we were in hospital, when she was in hospital, I used to look at the other parents that were in the hospital and kind of realise, because I worked in the food bank as well, that a lot of people there didn't have any food, because if suddenly a child becomes ill, you end up in hospital, and a lot of people are from right across the northwest, so you end up in a place where you don't really know.
Yeah.
And also, if your child's in treatment for a long time, which children with leukemia are in treatment for 3 years, and that can be in hospital, out of hospital, in hospital. So you get long stints where you're in hospital. Lots of parents then are not able to work, so there's a lot of really serious food poverty in hospital. So people just don't have any money. The parents don't have any money to feed themselves. So when you're in hospital with your child and they've got a serious illness, you have to be at your best. You have to be fighting fit, because you have to know about their condition, because the doctors, nurses rely a lot on parents to be able to tell them about the child on that given age, and so was me.
Yeah.
So what we were kind of looking at, what I was looking at, was parents that, so I used to talk to other parents, and used to say, well, what do you eat? So they'd say, oh, well, for the 3 weeks that I'm in on this period of treatment, I only drink Coke. I only drink Coca-Cola because that's all I can afford. And so I just thought that was outrageous. And I thought, So me and Emmy kind of came up with a plan that we would feed the parents, which that's how Emmy's Kitchen was born.
I mean, it was definitely a journey. Like, we started from rock bottom, kind of just with an idea. We didn't really know if it was actually going to be something. It was just kind of like a little vision in my head that I was like, oh, it'd be nice if this happened. But I guess really all thanks to like my mum and my family, who really like got in contact with Ronald McDonald House and the hospital and kind of made things possible for us actually to create this vision into reality. And like, we've come so far now, overcoming like the pandemic and just kind of learning how to get around different things and just to really excel at what we're doing.
It grew massively, really quickly. I think we did some taster sessions at Ronald McDonald House initially, which were specifically for oncology patients, just because that was what we knew and that is where we'd been. I think our first session we probably had 28 meals, which felt like kind of, oh yeah, maybe this is going somewhere. I think by the next session we probably had 150 parents come over to access food, and I think what happened from there is, of course, we people, as soon as people started to hear our story, we had lots of really lovely friends and family who then wanted to be involved as well, and our volunteering team really grew. People wanted to be involved in what we were doing because actually it was instant. You could see in our face-to-face sessions, you could instantly see the difference that you were making to families.
When we used to go into Mac House, obviously you saw an instant impact. You know, you'd be talking to families, serving them food and such, and then with the takeaways, you're a little bit more separate from the people that you're providing the food to. But every week, as we're coming in or going out, you see parents waiting. They will always get hold of us and just say how much they appreciate it, how they're really looking forward to it. There's always people waiting for the food to arrive, and yeah, people just seem so grateful. And yeah, having seen Eve on the ward with Emmy, you just know how vital that is, and how just having a little break and not having to think about it for an evening makes a big difference, really.
So when Eve ended up in hospital with Emmy, I thought, surely there's going to be loads of support for parents, and I naively thought as well that there would be kind of support groups for children with cancer, but there are not. They're not there. So we're 5 years old now, so Emmies Kitchen's 5 years old, and we kind of thought we would do it initially, and we thought, we'll do it for a while and see how it goes. But now we realise we can't actually stop it because...
As the hospital showed you.
Because there's a massive need, and we just... There's a kind of... It's looking like now there's going to be like a national movement of parents that are looking at doing that, and lots of people come and talk to us about how they can set it up in their hospital. Right. And lots of people say, can you come and run this in our hospital?
Yeah, I've got that capacity.
I think for me, I guess, yeah, this has really taught me so much about me and how to parent, and in terms of how Emmy has tackled her illness and dealt with kind of that from it. She wants to really help other people and other parents and other children to have a better experience in hospital. Is really inspiring. She blows my mind every day in terms of her determination and commitment that, you know, as a 14-year-old, she kind of will go above and beyond, and, you know, she wants it to be of the highest quality. She wants things to be perfect. Has its ups and downs, because she really, that's her personality, but I think that her example to other young people is saying that actually, you know what, I can overcome adversity, or I can overcome something that really has been difficult in my life, but I'll make it be something positive. And I think Emmy's taught us to be stronger. She's taught us to turn things from a negative to a positive, and she's kind of really been the driving force behind Emmies Kitchen and how we continue to support parents. And she will often say to us, well, actually, I don't want you to do it like that, or I think we need to do it in this way. And she's not a silent partner by any means. She is very much present, and her ideas and her drive really does drive Emmies Kitchen on forwards and upwards. And I guess, yeah, we wouldn't be doing it without that inspiration.
It's definitely hard to keep doing it every week, but I get a reward out of it by seeing and hearing what the parents are saying. So when we do our Facebook and Instagram posts, you know, people comment on it saying how much of a difference it makes, and that's just like what keeps us all going, to be fair, not just me. Like we get the breaks, but like we're missing it when we have breaks. Like we like doing it. It's rewarding and enjoyable because we get to see what an impact we make on people's lives. I definitely find it very important to show young people that just because you're young doesn't mean you can't achieve stuff, because I guess in my friend group I'm probably the only one that's been through something as on a bigger scale and done something about it. Like I guess from whatever you've experienced, like a divorce or anything like that, I feel like it's always important to grip onto that and make something out of it. Like no matter what your age is, try and make whatever vision you want to make a difference, whatever difference you want another person to have in their life, to make it a reality.